All right, we are here with the battle report. We've got some Ynnari versus Necrons today. I apologize for everything being unpainted. I'm going to blame JJ, who's sitting over in this chair, for not bringing me my painted models. So we could yell at him in the comments for this, but that's okay. I'm just kidding. We're testing this out for Worlds. Not sure how it's going to go. Just going through as many Eldar iterations as possible to see what I really want to play for that. So what we've got is Ynnari. So obviously our warlord is Yvraine here. She's going to be joining a squad of Corsairs. They're fully souped up with everything because why not? That's what they come with now. We've got the Vizark in here as well. I think he's a really good punchy character. He's been performing really good in all of the test games. We've got 5 Warp Spiders, 5 Rangers with Illic. You know, the standard. I really like that combo. I can't do a list without that. I've got a Wave Serpent with Bright Lances, 5 Swooping Hawks, 2 D-Cannon platforms. I'm bringing them back because I think they're really good for mid-control against the Chaos and the Marines that we're seeing. We need a Mandrakes. They would be Swooping Hawks, but I needed the points, so it's Mandrakes. And then 3 units of 5 Scourges, all with Haywire. And then we've got 3 Void Bombers. They're all rocking the D-Scythes, so a lot of shots coming from them. We'll see how they perform. So that's the list that we got. We're going to go over to Walter, and we're going to see what he's rocking with Necrons today.
Hey, sports fans. This is Walter, as always, in Thomas's basement. We're back with the Necrons. When I heard Brad was bringing the Eldar, you know I had to refight the war in heaven. That's not an optional where I come from. You always got to show up if your rival shows up. We hear these Ynarri think that they are the Lords of Death, but there's only one army whose name is Death, and you're looking at it. I've got 3 units of Praetorians sent here by the Silent King to guarantee my victory. Each of them has the mobility that this board really cries out for. They move 9 inches, they reroll their charges, they can fall back and charge. All huge in the modern meta. I'm trying to find a Necron build that works. They're the big test for today. I've got my 4 usual tanks, just 2 Praetorian tanks, as well as 2 Annihilation Barges. With all the haywire he's packing, they're not going to do too well, but, you know, you don't tailor for the army, so you just got what you got. I got some Scarabs. They'll do great against Eldar. Just get in there and bite on the little low toughness guys, do some real damage. I got some Tomb Blades. You know I love my Tomb Blades. If I go first, they can get me behind enemy lines. That's crucial. The real magic is here. I've got that Catan that everybody knows and loves. And then I've got a whole Lich Guard unit in the back. I'm going to try and just pitch them right up the center. North-south game, right? These are Warside Lich Guard. I didn't bring the shields. I've always thought your Lich Guard needs to do work. And the goal for these guys is just going to be to push right through his army. We'll see if he can stop me. So between the Catan and the Lich Guard, I got 2 things I think he's going to struggle to deal with. Everyone else is going to struggle with his Haywire guns, so it's going to be a very back and forth game. But I'm hopeful that these Triarch Praetorians are going to turn the tide in my favor.
All right, we're here on the battlefield. We've got Vital Ground going on today with some Chilling Rain and Crucible of Battle. So that's what we're looking at. Vital Ground, you got there. You are getting 2 for your deployment zone, 5 for no man, 6 for the opponents. Nothing else special going on there. Then when we look at this terrain, we are again playing on the Big Bear 3D and Away Games terrain here. This is going to be a staple of the National Tabletop League as we get that rocking and rolling. If you haven't seen what we are doing with that yet, make sure to go to nationaltabletopleague.com and check out all of our awesome stuff with all of our events and sponsors that are going on. Huge shout out to everybody that is supporting us right now. And obviously, if you're watching this, like, comment, subscribe, do all those fun things. So here's the battlefield. This is what we're looking at. We are going to get deploying, and then we'll come back and see who's going first. All right, we are deployed. In reserves for the Eldar, we've got the 3 planes. They got to start there, and then we put Swooping Hawks. Generally, the Scourges would also be in Deep Strike, but just in case he decides to be aggressive with the vehicles, I wanted them for a turn 1 punch. So they're just kind of there to be a little threatening. We've got a D-Cannon and a Wave Serpent over here chilling. Mandrakes are just screening this back, so you can't come get me. Leave me alone. And we got more Scourges, Warp Spiders. They're there to get my secondaries, of course. Up a little bit with the Rangers and the D-Cannon. I wanted the D-Cannons to be able to both threaten objectives equally. And then when we go over to Mr. Walter here, do you want to give us what you got going on?
All right, yep, here's the lowdown. First off, ready to scout. I have these Tomb Blades in the flank. If I go first, they can push through here and come around here and attempt to shoot these guys. Failing that, they can move up and cleanse this objective. I've taken fixed cleanse and deploy teleport homers, so I'm looking to claim the middle. He has taken fixed behind enemy lines and deploy teleport homers, so I'm desperate to keep him out of my backfield. You can see I've even deployed a tank on the backfield. With those haywire guns, it's not durable. I just want its base size to hold him out of my zone for a while. Meanwhile, I got a bunch more people here. Basically, the play, if I go first, is to surge onto the objectives. If I go second, we'll see what he puts on the objectives, and I think I can kill almost anything he shoves up. So the question will be how much damage he does to me with his shooting.
All right, the Eldar rolled to go first. So we've got our movement here. Warp Spiders jumped over here. They're going to be doing teleport homers, me and my behind. That's what they're here in this list for, to then die miserably. Move these guys up on the objective here, so then he's forced to try to come and take it from me or just let me score this. Obviously, I can move D6 if he gets within 9, and I also have Phantasm. So I feel generally okay that they should be able to be safe. We've got one D-cannon here. The only thing it's going to be able to shoot is those bikes. Maybe we'll get lucky and we'll make them a little bit less of a threat. I just kept these Scourges in the back here. Mandrakes just spread out a little bit to screen. They just kind of moved up along the wall. Another squad of Scourges went here, so I have a little bit more threat next turn. We've got this guy just staged if he goes on an objective. I've got my punchy stuff. D-cannons here. He's got a couple targets. I could go into the Scarabs. I don't know how afraid I am of them or not. I go in the Reanimator or this guy. I don't know what the chances are it kills any of those, so I just got to think about that. That's all I'm going to shoot is the 2 D-cannons, and then that's the end of my turn, so let's see what damage they're going to do.
Okay. All right, everyone. So I have surrounded these intruders with some mighty Praetorians. We're going to try and lock them down. I've pushed up some Tomb Blades in order to punish the enemy's temerity in occupying my zone. Should be able to kill a few of those snipers. But most importantly, I've pushed my Catan and Lich Guard towards the center. The Lich Guard bombed their advance roll, didn't make it. But I'm cleansing the center with the Catan, and I'm deploying a teleport homer with those Scarabs. Over here, I am cleansing with my Technomancer, and also holding that objective. I've also tried very hard to screen him out of my zone. You can see all these bikes back here and a Coke can. The goal is to keep him from just deep strike behind my lines. I know Eldar have a lot of tricks to get there, but I want to make it hard for him. And in the meantime, I'm going to push durable units into the center and see what he's got to say about that. Calamity on this flank, as his saving throws were pretty high and the soldiers just withstood my attack. He's still got units behind my lines. It's a terrible annoyance. But that's also on me. I should have kept some tanks back to shoot at him. I just figured the Eldar would evaporate, and then they boss their saves. But they can do that, and you got to be prepared. On this flank, I was able to kill all of Illich's support staff, but he himself is still holding fast with only 1 wound. However, he's engaged combat with my scout squad there, my Tomb Blades. And then over here, his purple tank has taken half its wounds from a flanking tank of my own. That Annihilation Barge on the edge managed to skim an angle and get him a shot despite the cover, did some damage. I was hoping to pile some mortals onto those unpainted Scourges, but no good. I'm just going to have to contend myself with the 10 free points at the end of the game.
Illich, we just don't want him to just get picked up easily there. I know I'm not on the objective, but that's okay. Decan's not moving so that it hits on 3s because of the heavy. Plane came in right here in the back. His missiles can go downtown to any of those vehicles, but his other guns are really just going to get to here. They can put some shots onto Pinky if they want to, but we got to make sure those bikes die, and they're -1 to hit, so might have to just over-index into that. All the Scourges moved up. We're going to try to get some vehicles with them. This D-cannon is not moving, so we have a little bit better hitting. 2 planes here. They can pretty much reach most of the stuff on this side of the board, so we'll see what the Haywires are doing, and if they decide to try to shoot the Lich Guard or the Scarabs, we don't really know. There's a lot of shooting that's going to happen. These guys came all the way up here so that they could reach this guy or that guy. The math that we do, we think it takes 2 Scourges to kill 1 vehicle. So I'm not going to pick up everything with them. I just want to make sure I have options. The Wave Serpent came up here. We can do our Wave Serpent shield into one of these vehicles. We can do our Bright Lance, and then we've got our D-cannon and our blasters here as well. So let's go in and see what we can do and what we fail. All right, the Eldar turn is done. I'm going to kind of work this backwards from the fight phase. So we needed a good charge here. I used a 6 on the Vizark to get into the, what are they called?
They were Praetorians.
Praetorians. He made it in. She needed like an 8, 7, 8, rolled a 9, made it in as well. He was able to kill 4 guys. She cleaned up the last guy, so pretty good there. They also then shot at a bunch of stuff. The Wraith Cannon, I ended up doing 6 mortal wounds to the tank that was back here. Then I had to do a Serpent Shield on him, and then I had to shoot him to kill him. We picked up this guy. He took a lot more shooting than I wanted to, the tank that was there. These Scourges totally let me down. They were not doing enough damage. We used a D cannon, both D cannons on Pinky. 1 whiffed with 1 shot only. The other one had 3 shots. The 2 went through. I only did like 4 damage. And then I shot 1 missile at him and did another damage. So not too much there. I was hoping that I would just get really lucky with the D cannons, but I think picking him off just a little bit, even though he's going to heal, it is what it is. All the Haywire shot, they basically all had to go into here. 1 went into this guy. He made all his 4 ups there. So I just picked up these 2 vehicles that were on this side of the board. And the planes, 1 shot its missile down at the bikes. 1 shot all of its bottom guns there. Left 1 bike, so I had to shoot a missile at it to clean it up. So bikes died. And then the other 2 planes went into the Scarabs. I just wanted to not have them running at me and exploding. So picked up both of the Scarabs. And because, and you can see kind of where the Scourges moved to after they shoot, they moved there, they moved there, they moved here. And then the Warp Spiders, I spent a CP on them to fall back, shoot, and charge. So that allows me to get my actions with them. He did a really good job of screening me out, so I didn't think that I was going to be able to get my action, my secondaries on this turn. That allowed me to get there. I just barely didn't make it over this line to get more for behind enemy lines. So I'll get the 7 points on the secondaries. Walter's going to go into this turn. He's going to definitely get 5 for this primary here, and he's going to get 2 for his home ones. He's going to get 7 on the primary. And let's see how he hits me back.
All right. We were able to hold the center at bottom 2 and go up in the primary. Very important. I've now surged the Lich Guard up and taken the grip of steel. They're going to hold it for at least another round, I think, even if he puts all the shooting into them. You know, those Lich Guard, they're tough as heck. Tough as heck. Yes, that's what I said. Down here, we have the Triarch Praetorians, newly regenerated. They've moved up. They're taking this objective here, so it's giving them another push. And then finally, on this flank, I'm sending forward some of my remaining tanks there, and some newly resummoned Triarch Praetorians. The goal is to break these various units of Eldar and get this flank to be mine for good. I have a real problem, though, which is that he moved at the end of my phase, and these guys are playing Ring Around the Rosie with my tank. Normally not such a huge problem with their low OC, but with all his planes, he's going to be able to pop my tank on his turn and then, threaten to take my objective over and over. A real problem. On the other hand, from my flank, this guy has moved up here. With my opponent out of CP, he's going to be able to charge and beat the heck out of these poor guys here and seize his objective. So we're just trading off ferociously. Everything is getting pretty wild in this game. All right, let's see how it goes. All right, a pretty successful turn. There was obviously no action here, and I obviously didn't get rid of these jerks here. But over on this flank, I was able to defeat all of the squad except the Ynarri, I think is her name. She is still alive, but she's no longer leading any friends. The scout transport is still intact over here, but it can't out-OC my Praetorian tank. So I've been able to hold his primary down, actually to 0, because my Catan was able to charge and defeat one of those pesky Haywire squads that have been doing so much damage. So that was really nice. Meanwhile, my Central Lich Guard have taken a grip of steel in the center area, and we are both just continuing to annihilate these fixed objectives with no difficulties. So things are tentatively looking up for the Necrons. I think I've taken the lead, but I have a real problem. There's poison in my home from these 3 guys who are still alive, and his planes are continuing to shoot. I'm almost certainly going to be being annihilated in the attrition, so I'm just going to have to work on getting more points than he can before the game comes to an end.
All right, sketchy turn here. We'll see. Fall back, shoot, and charge over here with We have rain. Get some light on here for this. Then we've got the Wave Serpent coming here. We're going to either have to shoot this guy or we're going to have to shoot that. We don't know yet. This plane flew over. We're going to have to do the bombs in a second. So he just went straight down this line here. So those are our choices of bombing. We're going to probably do Pinky and see if we get lucky with some bombs on him. He can kind of shoot anything in this area. They're coming in. They're going to end up doing my homers, and I'm getting full behind. We're going to see if we get some lucky shots with some flamers into these guys. Maybe we'll pick some of them up. Maybe we won't. These guys moved to the edge here. We stayed outside of 12 of getting flamed here, and we got a beat on him. If we get some haywire, we're not moving here. We're going to have to try to take down Pinky this turn, or he's going to be a very big nuisance, and I can't just give him 6 primary points. They have dev wounds shooting. They could possibly get lucky if I absolutely have to charge him, I will. These guys here can shoot either the Reanimator or here or Pinky. If I need to use like a 6, for one of these guns, I can. We're not moving this guy either, so that we're hitting on 3s. Hopefully the target is Pinky there, but we can also go into these guys. I probably should move this guy. I forgot he was here. This guy flew over Pinky. This guy just flew right over the middle. They're both there. So let's see what shooting we got. All right, we are here at the end of the Eldar shooting. So I started off over here. She used her anti-infantry gun to kill these guys, just killed them. She ended up taking mortals from this vehicle here blowing up. She took 3, tank took 2. He died by just a bunch of shooting between the plane and then these guys here. I got pretty good dev wounds on him. Charged this guy, rolled 1-6 for a dev, used a fate dice for the second 6 just to make sure he died. Then into Pinky, we bombed him twice. We succeeded on that. We took him down some wounds, shot both cannons at him. One D-can did really good, had 3 shots, got all the hits in, got wounds in. He made some good saves, just kept whittling him away. Mandrakes, I got a couple dev wounds on him, whittled him away a little bit more. Then I shot basically half the guns from both of these planes and the missiles from the third plane into him. I brought him down to 2 wounds. Then luckily I rolled 2 dev wounds on these guys to finish him off. So Pinky went down. I shot a gun from each of the planes into the Praetorians, picked them up, and that is where we are at. So I'm going to pick up my secondaries. They're doing the homers. I got the full behind. Walter's got the middle, and he's got his primary at home, so he's going to get 7 on the primary going into this. But yeah, kicking it over to him.
All right, well, that was an apocalyptic shooting phase. He essentially killed my army. So things are going to be really tough from here on out. First off, I still have this Praetorian here at home with his OC4. He's holding fast in the center objective. That's strong there. The Lich Guard have the center in a grip of steel for at least 1 more round. That's more points there. Can't stop that. But that's kind of it. This extremely important little guy here will give me a few more points. But things are really dire. Things are really very dire for the Necrons. Showing our supremacy in this sort of a situation is going to be very tough, but we'll do the best we can. Let's see where we go. All right, that turn went about as well as it could. The Lich Guard charged and they killed a cannon, another unit of Scourges, and those Mandrakes that just defeated my Transcendicaton. We seized the enemy deployment zone. Meanwhile, this guy deployed 1 more teleport homer in the center, thereby holding out. And on my home front, I finally defeated those little Wraith soldiers that had been bedeviling me. So I'm going to be putting him, I was thinking, on 0 primary, but then at the end of my move phase, the sniper who we wounded so long ago crept back through that wall and took that objective back over for him. So this game is extremely ferocious. He's, like I was prophesied, he is tabling me, but I'm trying to hold out with the points and never forget, we've got those 10 banked paint points. It could be taking it all.
All right, so we are playing switch the sides of the board now. Not moving here. If we need to shoot at something, we will. Shooting these guys ain't going to do too much. He's going to basically just deploy teleport homers and be on my objectives. That's 11 points the next couple turns he's going to get there, which I'm going to just do the exact same thing over here. And these planes are going to try to take this guy out. We got some bombs to roll, and then we're going to try to take this guy out with our other shooting. Wave Serpent failed leadership. You've rained past leadership. So that's where we're at with those things. Now let's do some shooting. The menace is still here. There's nothing I could do to move these things this turn. I plinked a couple wounds on a guy, killed one guy. We just have to assume that's going to die. I rolled 15 dev wounds with the scourges on this guy. He did really, really good return rolling with his feel no pains. The wave serpent, bright lance went through. I made it auto 8 damage. Oh, he almost passed it. It was very, very close. 2 planes it took to pick up the tank that was back here. This guy just shot missiles downtown. That's it. We're gonna. It blew up. Did some wounds to this guy. Did 2 wounds here. I just killed the Exarch. So I got my full behind and my teleport homers. And yeah, let's go add some more points up. All right, we're going to try to kill them all. If we do it, we will get more points, or he will get less. If we don't, he is going to get more. Everything is lined up to shoot this. The only thing that's going to be out of range is going to be the 1 plane in the back here. All of my missiles. He's going to give me my behind. They're going to be doing teleport homers and getting behind, so I'll finish that off. Everything else is just going full send into here, and we'll see if we can do anything special. The pain has hit this squad. This is what he has left with over here. The 2 characters and 1 guy. 1 guy. You get to grow guys back, right? Because there's 1 guy left. Yep. Son of a bitch. So yeah, that's what we did. We talked about it beforehand, so I just want to show you what is left, and let's see what he does at the bottom of 5, and we'll get the final score.
All right. Well, unfortunately, with as much damage as he did to the Lich Guard, and with the necessity of deploying a teleport homer, there was nothing clever we could do. I just withdrew in the building and deployed my last teleport homer. We're going to count the points up, but I don't feel good about this one. Things have gone drastically wrong, beginning with me not getting that infantry squad in the first round. I really needed to make sure they were dead, and it really hurt me that I didn't.
Right when you think you have them in your trap, let's go through this score here. Let me turn this light down. There's a little bit of a glare. We don't need that for this. So, yeah. Here's the primary. You know, he was nuking me on that, and I came back in that last turn, but he still had more primary. Then when we look at the secondaries here, I was able to chew through that. I ended up with 38. He ended up with 25. Because my army's not painted, I have 61 here, okay? And Walter, because his army is painted, has 10 more points. He also has 61. So this is a straight up tie. 61-61. Great game, Walter. Go ahead and do your awesome, epic commentary.
All right. You thought that the Necrons were beaten, but as always, we will be back. In this case, the shape of our being back comes from the fact that my army is well painted, or at least painted by dropping it in a well. Whereas his is gathered off nearby things. These guys holding the zone turned out to be pivotal. The Lich Guard's heroic charge across the battlefield as everything collapsed around us was crucial. The bottom 4 charge to chop apart 3 enemy units left him with nothing to stop me from scoring his zone. That was pivotal. But the real problem for me was the 1 round where he was just able to destroy all of my flanking units and leave me with no way to score cleanse anymore. I began to fall behind at that point, and only my superior artistry, my painting skills were able to keep me in this battle. But that's Games Workshop for you. All assets of warfare are rewarded, even the aesthetics.
It's Jeremy's fault.
Critically, the aesthetics. Big ups to Brad for this game. And we will see you guys all next time. And maybe Brad will paint something so that he will perhaps be able to have a chance next time around.